Everyone, please rise for the pledge. First order of business is the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion? Katie, second. Tom, any questions? Okay, vote. All in favor? 7-0 approved. Next up is the superintendent's report. Mr. Poole.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. Just start off with a couple of congratulations and thank yous. So congratulations to our very own Carter Rubin in the school district, who is a contestant on NBC's The Voice. I know we've all enjoyed his singing and theatrical performances, so we wish Carter Rubin the best of luck, and I look forward to seeing Carter Rubin go all the way. Also, a thank you and a congratulations to high school science teacher, Mr. Kevin Nohill. He was selected as the New York State winner of the National Association of Geoscience Teachers Eastern Section's Outstanding Earth Science Teacher Award. This year marks the 19th year of Mr. Nohill teaching earth science in a high school, and his passionate approach to teaching leads to great student-centered and participation in the classroom. And this is actually his second in the last several years of winning a grant and an award for the school district. So thank you and congratulations to Mr. Nohill. And I thought I'd just share just a couple of normal things that are happening in the school district. Maybe not normally of great note, but but things that are normal are great to share these days. This past weekend, PSATs were held at the high school. Had about 143 students take those exams. That's quite a few more than last year. Grade level high school student government elections are going to be happening this week at the high school. Something really neat. We remember Madi Rashizada, the valedictorian from a couple of years ago. He visited the high school virtually to meet with AP capstone students, talk about transitioning to college and about AP research. Great to hear that the middle school music program is up and running. It was nice to walk through here. Music in the hallways, using some creative spaces to give lessons. That's wonderful. Wading River, as usual, is doing their Character Counts Week with all the students. The PTA launched their book fair. It's kind of nice to hear these normal events of the school district. And I know Mrs. Smith's going to share a little bit about Briarcliff and Miller Avenue later on this evening. So tonight as well, we have a professional development presentation from Mr. Meinster, Dr. Meyer, and Ms. Wallbauer. And just finally, on a personal note, I want to thank the Shoreham-Wading community, many friends that I've made here and families. Their support and fundraising over the weekend was much appreciated by myself and my family. So thank you. And a little PSA to everybody: it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Get screened. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Poole, and we, like I say, for the board and the entire community, we send our best wishes to your wife and hope for a speedy recovery. Okay, any, you want to talk about opportunity for board members? Katie?
I just wanted to provide an update on the Curriculum Development Committee. We met this week, and it was wonderful to begin the meeting with insight from at least one teacher from each grade level, or each building rather, and the teachers had shared unilaterally they felt that there were some challenges obviously this year, but that those challenges were going to be present no matter what, and that the district has provided the best workarounds possible. There are some items that continue to be worked on, like volume at the high school, being able to hear, being able to collaborate. There are a lot of creative options that teachers have created and have implemented to continue to provide collaborative opportunities for our students, even though they can't be done in the traditional ways. the different challenges in each building ranged from students having just acclimating to the new processes, and that has gone underway, and to social emotional challenges, and again we have some great things in place that have been implemented to address those as well. So it's great to start the meeting in that way. The other item on the agenda was to talk about, we had 6 committees last year that, subcommittees of the Curriculum Development Committee that had incredible work that was accomplished. And so not all of that work is on pause this year. Those committees will reconvene and at least do an evaluative sort of session to see what can be done, what might need to be changed, and then steps for going forward. There were a number of teachers who were commended for volunteering to provide professional development. We have some excellent experts in our buildings on Google Classroom and the different digital and media tools. That professional development is ongoing and has gone in depth for the November, I believe it's 3rd Superintendent's Conference Day. We will have that development continue, and our students are benefiting greatly from the tremendous work that is underway. There's also across the board just a gratitude amongst staff and students for the ability to be present here 5 days a week, and then comments were also made about a really seamless transition at the high school on the day that we had to go into remote learning for 1 day. So that concludes our update. The next meeting is going to be next month, and this was sort of like a reconvening. Next month we'll dig in with some additional work.
Great, thank you, Katie. Any other trustees? No? Okay. All right, next up, statements from residents? None? No? Okay. Next up is student and staff recognition. Mr. Poole.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. And this week is Board of Education Appreciation Week, and certainly want to take a moment this evening to thank our Board of Education volunteers, leaders in the school district. You know, it takes strong schools to have a strong community, and these trustees, our Board of Education, devote countless hours to making sure that our schools are helping every child learn at a high level. They make the tough decisions every month. They spend many hours going over educational issues, regulations, in order to provide the kind of educational oversight that this community and students certainly deserve. They are integral in raising student achievement by working on a vision for the future of education, setting the direction of the school district to achieve that high student performance, providing accountability for student achievement results, developing a budget that aligns to district resources to improve achievement, and supporting a healthy school district culture for students and staff, to work and learn. And most importantly, our Board of Education, our board members, give the Shoreham-Wading community a voice in educational decision making. So even though this is a special effort to show our appreciation in October, their contribution is a year-round commitment. We have a great Board of Education experience. Collectively, our Board of Education has 29 years of experience, and that experience, foresight, passion, care, intelligence, knowledge is just a critical support for, I know for myself, cabinet, administration, teachers, and the entire school district. This year, their leadership and support was more critical than ever in order to reopen schools and really adjust on the fly, starting from March of last year, all the way through to the opening of schools. The Board of Education, I've met twice a week over the summer for hours, working on budget numbers, working on can we open the schools, what are the requirements, and developing and supporting a plan to have all of our children come back. reading countless state education guidance documents. The one that was released on July 17th was only one, and it was 145 pages, really getting ready and understanding and helping to guide the development of a program. Attending the community forums, committee meetings, professional development or law conferences, answering, responding to resident emails, just a very responsive and caring Board of Education. Great support for leadership and all staff in the school district. And I personally want to thank you, and I know as a district that we all thank them as well. I also want to take a moment, I see family members here today, to really ask the family members that are here today in support of our trustees just to stand up so that we can thank you and give you a round of applause, because it is definitely a family sacrifice, and more so than ever this summer. So thank you. Please stand up and say we know it's a lot of time, but they are, just to the families, they are making a difference, and they are much, much appreciated here in the school district. So I know that the buildings, normally we'd have children here singing or sharing. It's a little bit of a different year, but I do know Mr. Parinello's here, that collectively the buildings put together a little bit of a thank you video. Yeah, great.
Yeah, so the principals got together with some of the kids, and really Connor McAuliffe was key to this, because we were like, okay, can you help us out? He kind of came around, and impromptu, we have your students are here just to say some words to you. So we figured it's a little bit different with the pandemic going on. So just a heartfelt thank you. 2 times a week, the buildings are open, you know, that you meet all the time, you volunteer your time, and just thanks. Again, this is from all the buildings, all the principals, all the teachers, the staff, and the kids. Just saying thank you to you. And hopefully be able to...
We just want to take a moment to say thank you.
Thank you for all the hours you give to our community.
Thank you, members of our Board of Education.
Thank you for helping keep us safe.
Thank you for making us proud.
Thank you for the new backfields. They look great.
Keep up the good work.
So in front of you is a gift from a local confectionery chef who owns and operates the Sweet Spot, and is actually here this evening. Our very own district clerk, Stephanie Beveridge.
These look
And if you
amazing.
can't see
They look
them,
so awesome. Thank you so
they
much.
have a SWR cookie and a cake pop in there. So very sweet of Miss Beveridge. I'm sorry, Miss Mahoney, for
Congratulations.
congratulations
Thank you.
for sharing this. And we also have a certificate of appreciation plaque for the Board of Education, just as a small token to say thank you to the Board of Education for their services this year and moving into this next year, which will be challenging as well. So thank you to our Board of Education. And if we could get a photo of the Board of Education on our Shoreham-Wading River backdrop, that would be great.
Thank you.
All right, certificates or?
Yeah, oh yeah, bring your certificates,
no,
yep.
should bring-
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, no, Thank you.
I know you wanted to try it.
Thank you.
Of course. Sure.
Thank you again, Mr. Poole, for those kind words, and Mr. Parinello and the kids. It was great to see everyone on the video. It has definitely been a difficult 6-7 months. I know I joke around with Tom all the time. I told him the summers were easy, but not this one. So hopefully next year. But
I'm still waiting for that summer break.
So again, I think it's we have a great group of trustees, and although we may not see eye to eye all the time, and we definitely we're always put the efforts in and the time, and obviously our biggest concern is getting the students here, and the fact that staff and administration was able to accomplish that this school year has been amazing. So we can't thank you guys enough as well. So. All right. Next up is reports and reviews. First up, Miller Avenue Principal presentation. Mr. Poole.
All right, I'd like to invite up Ms. Smith.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening to our Board of Education, Superintendent Poole, our District Office Cabinet, and our community. It is truly my honor to be here this evening to welcome you to Miller Avenue School. For a number of months, I was hoping to say that, and here we are welcoming everyone back. I'm just going to wait a second for our presentation to get started. I promise it will be short. But I'd like to start off just by saying thank you. Thank you to all of the members that I just listed, our Board of Education, our district office, our faculty, our staff, our community, and our students. We are here today because of the collaborative efforts of everyone, and I could not be more grateful to be standing here this evening in front of all of you back in school. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'd just like to add, we had the building walkthrough prior to the meeting tonight, and from being a part of the bond and the reconstruction and the addition in this building, to walk it through today and see that it's immaculate. It's just as we left it when we first opened the doors a few years ago. To the janitorial staff and to your staff as well, to keep it in this great shape is appreciated as well.
Yeah, I am very grateful for that. Thank you very much, and incredibly grateful for all the hard work that is going on here daily. So I just, I wanted to talk briefly, I just wanted to talk briefly about our opening of school before I share a video with you of some of the things happening in our building. Safety obviously is a priority in our school district every year. Safety was much larger this year, where we had many things to consider. And I don't want to reiterate all of the things that we've spoken about over the last few months, but I did want to just mention that things are going really, really well. Our students are arriving to school in the morning with their attestation forms. They're getting their temperatures taken if they don't. It is going incredibly smoothly in the mornings as they're arriving and getting to classes. They're washing their hands and they're getting started with their day. The building, as you mentioned, Mr. Lewis, is immaculate. Our custodial staff is working diligently from the moment that they arrive in the buildings until they leave late at night. As you walk around Miller Avenue, You would certainly see some of our custodial staff washing the doorknobs and the areas that are traveled through more frequently. Our teachers are assisting with that. Our students are doing a fantastic job every single day following our new protocols here at Miller Avenue. We have our first and second graders here. I am truly amazed at how they wear their masks all day and how they follow the procedures in our social distancing. It is going so incredibly well because they are doing the right thing, and our staff, it's just really, really amazing. As you walk through the building, the board, I know you had the opportunity, the community necessarily didn't have that opportunity. We have some new things that you'll see for safety throughout the building. Our hallways are divided, and that's for social distancing purposes. You would notice that our desks are separated by 6 feet. You would notice our attestation stations in the hallways and lots of hand washing stations. Other than that, it just looks normal every day as you walk around. So safety is going very well here with our new COVID restrictions, and I could not be happier with that. Thank you. You're welcome. It might be the angle. So I really just wanted to talk about a typical day at Miller Avenue, and I'm super, super happy to report that our typical day seems pretty normal. Yeah, you will see students with masks, and you will see them 6 feet apart, and maybe we have some new procedures in place, but our day is very normal here now that we are in school and we have been in for a while. There are some real benefits of some of the changes. Our class sizes are incredibly small. At Miller Avenue in particular, most of our classes are at about an average of 13, some being 12, and a few being 14 or 15, right in that range, but they are very small. So I have heard over and over from our teaching staff that it's truly just like a dream come true, the way that they're able to meet the needs of our students. Not only was it beneficial for our class size to be smaller because of social distancing, but we're really able to address the needs of our students in a very different way than we would have, knowing that our students were coming back and there could have been some gaps in their academics because of the time off. We're really able to meet their needs. I'm noticing as I'm observing teachers in classrooms that teachers are very easily able to get to each child individually to confer with them and to meet with them. And that is incredible to watch happening. Our academics are right online. We started the year, and I will talk about social emotional, but we are right where we need to be. We're following our curricular calendars. Everything is underway, and once again, I know I used the word before, but it's looking normal. Our students are in the process of their iReady diagnostic. They're doing their Fontes and Pinnell testing. Our modules, our math modules are underway. We have our mystery science. Our teachers all have started their units, so things are in a real good spot academically. I'm happy to report that our social emotional needs of our children, I feel like we're in a very good spot. We had some concerns about anxiety of our students as they were re-entering school and our staff due to some of the proactive measures that we put in place. I'm feeling very confident that our children are very well supported. It is so wonderful to see the children interacting, hearing them laugh, hearing them talk, watching them play, watching them be social. Being out of school for a period of time makes you realize what is so wonderful about being in school, and those are all the things that we have. It is fantastic having Chromebooks, right guys? Yeah, it's pretty cool. At the primary level, one thing that we discussed was what would be the appropriate amount of time for children to have Chromebooks and for them to be interactive. I think we have a real nice balance of that. We certainly don't want our children at the primary level in their Chromebooks all day long. I think teachers are finding a real nice balance using them. Very familiar with their Google Classrooms. Teachers have been posting schedules and work, so if we were to go to distance learning, we would be ready. If we went tomorrow, there would be work there, we would be ready to go. I feel confident saying that. Special areas are, special teachers are being very creative with their, with the way they are presenting their curriculum. Our PE teachers are outside almost every day. Today we had a little bit of rain. We had some real fun dance videos, which the kids were enjoying, and exercise videos, but they're still moving. They're still moving. They're able to take mass breaks. I cannot say enough about our music and art teacher. They're going into classrooms. They have like a road show going on, and it's really working. Lastly, lunch and recess, I just wanted to touch upon before we show our video. Children are having their lunch in their classroom. You'll see from the video that it's working. You know, we just went to our cafeteria last year. It was unfortunate that we're back in classrooms, but it's really working. The children are able to socialize, they're able to turn to their friends, they're able to eat. We go outside almost every day for recess. We have the playground area separated into 4 different areas. So if children go outside, they play in a certain area in case we had a circumstance where we had to quarantine a class or anything. They're not mixing during recess. It's unfortunate, but at least they're out there and they're playing and they're having a great time. Any given day, it's like a museum outside with all the drawings from the chalk. Chalk is back, and it is popular at Miller Avenue, I can tell you that. So with the help of my friend Connor, who's over there, we thought it would be nice, instead of me doing all the talking, to show a video of some of the highlights and some of the things that I spoke about, for you to see inside of Miller Avenue. Since I can't bring everybody in, we'll share some of that with you. So enjoy. So once again, I just want to say thank you for all of your support, and I just feel incredibly grateful every day to come to work and to be at my job, and we need to stay in school, right, guys? Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
And I have to agree with you. I think I have a mix of emotions. You know, on one side, I'm grateful to hear the creativity and having the kids back, and then seeing some of those images. It's a little saddened to see how we've transformed, but you know, there are other good points, and you know, I'm glad we're back. It just be nice to get back, way back to where we were a year and a half ago, or a year ago. So, but thank you again for putting that together. It's a great PSA to show other schools how, you know, how to get it done and how to get the kids back. So.
That was awesome.
We need more upbeat music next time. All right. All right.
I'm
Thank you
excited
again.
for our parents to see that. I feel like, you know, it's definitely, I appreciate you putting that together because we can't get in the buildings this year, and understandably so, but just to see the way our kids are moving around, and it really does look like it is a happy environment, and we know that it is because of how they come home and how, you know, what we've heard. So
Yeah, we would have got the emails if parents weren't happy. So
true.
But
I agree that, and that really was part of the goal of that is we can't bring you in right now, so let's look in and just get a glimpse of that.
Mm-hmm. And our teachers, I mean, the creativity that has been underway in terms of creating that environment is just, I'm just so grateful for that. It really is awesome to see our kids acclimate, but so much has had to be adapted to make it look as seamless and to be as seamless as it really is.
I'm in awe every day. I am.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, Girl Scout Gold Award Project, Miss Abigail Wing. Okay, that's wrong. Okay. Yeah, so, okay.
Hello everyone. I'm Abigail Wing. I'm a senior at Shoreham-Wading High School. I want to thank you all for having me be able to present my gold award to you and hopefully get it approved.
Thank you for your patience. I know you've
Yeah,
sent a
I've
few
been at it for a
emails,
while.
and we've had some other business, but I appreciate you coming tonight and presenting us and shifting around your idea and your thoughts a little bit. So thank you again.
Thanks. I would like to thank Mr. Poole as well for just trying to make this happen, and Mr. Paranello has been so supportive through this whole process. I wouldn't be here presenting this if it wasn't for him. All right, so I'm just gonna go through my presentation and then hopefully answer some questions that you may have at the end. Okay, so a brief overview of my project. What I want to do is there's a courtyard at Wading River Elementary School that I would like to build benches for, actually. And there's an outdoor space with a few tables that I would like to refinish, and there's a broken table as well that I would like to repair. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous.
It's okay.
I would like to build 4 benches at least, and my goal is to build 6 benches in the end. Just depends on my budget. So I'm gonna repair the broken table, and then I'm gonna refinish the other 2 tables that are in the outdoor space as well. I'm gonna finish them by sanding them down, staining them, and then applying a thin coat of shellac. The benches will be able to withstand weather conditions because the courtyard does get a little bit windy because it's an enclosed area. So they'll be able to withstand all the conditions, and they're also going to be able to be pushed together and moved around for the kids to build tables and just move them around the courtyard. On the left is a picture of the courtyard that I'm trying to revamp, I guess. And then on the right are the dimensions for the benches. The benches are going to be 20 inches tall, 42 inches long, and 18 inches in width. It should be just a standard bench, and there's a slide at the end that'll show a reference picture as well. On the left is one of the broken tables that I'm going to fix. There's a plank underneath the table that's snapped, if you can see in the picture. And right now it's not usable because if you sit on it, it could potentially collapse, which is a bit of an issue. And then the other two tables are the other two tables I'm going to be refinishing and cleaning up. Okay. Okay, so my main goal for this project is to create a more usable outdoor space, and currently classes are going outside, like the surrounding classrooms of the courtyard are going outside and just having to sit on the ground because there's nowhere to sit and it's just empty. So I would like to present the school with a more functional outdoor space. Outside groups such as Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts aren't allowed to really meet indoors. They can only meet outside in approved areas, and the school does allow Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts to come in and use their facilities as meeting spaces. I think the courtyard and the outdoor space with all the tables is a good area for groups to meet in a safe and usable way. So I think if I'm able to fix them up, it would be a good space for Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and any other organizations like that to use. My benches, I already explained the dimensions, 18 inches wide, 20 inches tall, and 42 inches long. They will be able to seat 2 people at a time, and if you need to socially distance, they can seat 1 person. And then below is the picture I will be using as a reference for the benches I am building. That is it. Does anyone have any questions?
What material are you looking to utilize to build the benches?
The top of the benches are going to be a composite material, and then the legs of the benches are going to be made out of pressure-treated wood.
Okay, great. I think outdoor seating is a great idea. Mm-hmm. You mentioned my daughter is in Wading River, and she brings a beach blanket, beach towel to go outside. So this is a great alternative for them to get outside more. So you mentioned your budget. Are you accepting donations? Can people donate?
Girl Scouts doesn't allow me to accept donations.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like not like cash donations or anything like that. I am able to have materials donated and stuff. My plan is to go to Home Depot. They work well with Girl Scouts and Gold Awards and projects like this. If you fill out a form, I can get, for each Home Depot, I go to like $50 in worth of materials that I can then use to
So if residents want to donate materials, they would be able to do that?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a bit of a process.
Okay. Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay.
Idea, yes. Okay, great.
I had a few words. I'd like to say this is a great presentation, very professional.
Thank you.
So it's very well thought out. Love the visuals. I know when we did the courtyard, Mr. Perinello could probably say, I guess we first did it back during the bond, right? So we got finished off, we did the nice paving and all that. And one of my initial thoughts was always, it'd be nice to have some seating out here. So this fits in perfect, I think. It's going to be a great area. I think some of the teachers from time to time use the space, right? Classrooms that open up to it. Yeah, so this is great. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So when do you think you would start, and what's your timing in terms of starting? If we approve it, I guess, right? Mike?
Yeah, so typically, we would go back as a group, any questions internally we would have, and, we would reach out to you in the next week or so with a decision, and then, at the next board meeting, we would approve as a resolution, your donation to this, outdoor seating.
Okay. My start time is difficult to tell because I have to submit all my paperwork through Girl Scouts. So once I get it approved by the school, I then have to go to Girl Scouts and get it approved again.
Gotcha.
So that makes it a bit difficult to know when my start date is going to be. But
You could do all that work in the winter and then put it out there in the spring, so perfect.
By the spring, I would really like to get started on this. As for building time, it should be fairly quick. I can probably do it in like a weekend or 2 weekends or whatever. So I think I can do it. But it should be fairly quick to put together once I have all the approvals and everything.
That's great. The question I should have asked is there a certain deadline you have to get it done by to be a recipient of the Gold Award?
I think by the end of the year, by the end of my senior year.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So I hope it's doable.
No, I think it's fantastic. Thank you for presenting tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks again, and again, I appreciate your patience, and we look forward to discussing it at the next meeting.
Yes. Thank you for
Thank
all
you.
your help. I really appreciate it.
Okay, slight change. We're going to move up the 2019-2020 external audit. Mr. Arcuri.
At the October 13th, there was an audit committee meeting. The external auditors presented to the audit committee members. One of the auditors happens to be here this evening. She was asked to show up here about 2 hours prior to the meeting, so I apologize for not giving her more advance notice. But Miss Deidre Lynette is here with us this evening, as well as Miss Callie, and also another key person in the auditing process from the business office. As part of the external audit process, the audit committee must hear a presentation from the external auditors and then either accept or decline the audit. Normally in the past, a person will be chosen from that committee to come to the public meeting in order to present their opinion on the audit. Due to the COVID-19 issues this year, the committee decided that the chairperson would put a letter together, and that I'm going to read that to the Board of Education, if that's okay.
Please.
It is written to the Board of Education from the Audit Committee Chairperson, Ms. Barbara C. Cullen, October 14th, 2020. Subject is Audit Committee Approval Recommendation, 2019-2020 External Audit. As Chairperson of the Shoreham-Wading River Central School District's Audit Committee, I wish to advise you as follows. At the October 13th, 2020 Audit Committee meeting, it was the consensus of the committee members to accept the 2019-2020 external audit reports and to recommend the Board of Education approve the 2019-2020 external audit reports, which consist of the district's financial statement and supplementary schedules and the extra classroom activity funds financial statement for the period ending June 30th, 2020. One of the resolutions on this evening's agenda is the acceptance of the external audit and the corresponding corrective action. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? No? Okay. All right, next up is the professional development plan. Mr. Meister. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis, members of the Board of Education. Through the ongoing work of the entire administrative team and with the continuous support of our teachers, members of the community, we continue to maintain a focus on strengthening our curricular programming and creating impactful learning experiences for our students. This takes place in many forms and is driven through the work of our Curriculum Development Committee, charged with taking this feedback and helping prioritize our work. As you'll be hearing tonight from Dr. Meyer and Mrs. Wallbauer, our directors, the input received from each constituent group is compiled to create an overarching professional development theme for each school year. This theme then drives the identification of staff development experiences that center on translating best practices into dynamic and engaging instructional activities and lessons. One of the most important missions of any educational institution is developing students who are independent thinkers and problem solvers who can take information and apply it fluidly to new or different situations. This is a process that involves a continuous cycle of professional development, including the careful consideration of how this is delivered to maximize its impact on classroom instruction and on student learning. Alongside a significant number of our teachers who have offered to share their knowledge with their peers in areas of practice identified through the review of feedback shared with the Curriculum Development Committee, Dr. Meyer and Mrs. Wallbauer continue to work tirelessly to coordinate and disseminate this work using all of the tools and resources available to us. Tonight, I'm inviting them to the podium to share with you an overview of all the ways in which they, along with many of our teachers and administrators, are creating meaningful opportunities for all of our staff to provide the best possible learning environment for our students.
Thank you, Mr. Meinster. All right, I'm glad you all have snacks. We have a lot to share this evening. We're really excited to be here. We thank you for the opportunity to share our district's professional development plan. We hope you walk away tonight with a better understanding of the district's process, plans, and goals for curriculum and instruction, as well as a better feel for the new programs and methods that we are all learning together that the teachers have been incorporating into both their in-person and virtual classrooms. We have had a great start to the school year, as Mrs. Smith showed earlier, as just one example, and despite some levels of discomfort, we're continuing to adapt and adjust and make the best of these challenging and unprecedented times. So tonight's objectives are to take a look back at last year and how we are building on that work, to share the plan for how we are innovating learning this school year, to provide you with an overview of our new Parent Academy, and to illustrate the professional development and support available to our teachers in the 2021 school year. Because we are just 2 months into the school year, some of what is presented tonight has not been fully executed. But we look forward to sharing with the board the outcomes of this work as we move throughout the school year. So we'll look back at 2019-20. It's important to be reflective while implementing any plan of action, so we will spend some time looking back. Our journey. So we're continuing our journey. Last year's district theme was student engagement in collaborative group work, nurturing our 21st century learner, with the idea being that learning is maximized by well-designed and intentional social interactions for students with their peers. We focused on what evidence showed students demonstrating engagement and accountability during group collaboration. We shared this theme and our strategic plan goals with Joan Daly Lewis, who helped us craft the beliefs that guide our work. Those beliefs, as seen on the billboard, are: we are all responsible for continuous improvement in teaching and learning, we care about you and are invested in your growth, and we are invested in our own learning. So we are definitely building from strength. As you recall, under the leadership of Mr. Poole and the Board of Education, our district has been dedicated to the development of our strategic plan, where we worked with stakeholders to build a carefully balanced plan that supports the students and families in our community.
The goals that emerge from this work are the 5 foundational pillars that support our continuous improvement of our already amazing school district. Goal 1, supporting the whole child. Goal 2, enhancing graduation outcomes. Goal 3, maintaining high quality programming. 4, creating healthy, safe, and engaging learning spaces. And 5, communicating with all stakeholders. We developed our district goals, and the theme emerged: student engagement and collaborative group work, nurturing our 21st century learners, which was central to much of the work we did in professional development last year. Building off that, the teachers received ongoing professional development around that theme to enhance their strategies for embedding collaborative activities into their lessons. Discovery education and SOS strategies to engage students, foster collaboration, and integrate technology. Our CDC committees and subcommittee work, including the Elementary Report Card Committee, the AIS Committee, Grading Practices Committees, the Middle School Redesign Committee, High Achieving Students Committee, High School Readiness Committee, School to Community Subcommittee, and the all-important COVID-19 pandemic reopening committees and associated subcommittees for academics, social emotional learning, and facilities. Needless to say, last year was a packed year. Content-specific professional development happened around our student space flights experiment program. We just received news that our students will be launching their experiment probably sometime in December. There was a lot of professional development for our teachers around that project, but we are very excited that our now 6th graders will have an experiment going at the International Space Station this winter. Argument-driven inquiry for our science department, CTE department articulation, social studies framework, world languages work, ACE program training, as well as AP teacher training, TC staff development, literacy and mathematics coach modeling, and push-in. Our fine arts consultant, Paul Infante, has worked with the art and music faculty to innovate programs and align curriculum to the New York State standards. His leadership has proven to be invaluable to enhancing our program. The comprehensive guidance plan was developed, which outlines what all students from kindergarten through 12th grade should know and understand in 3 domain areas: social, emotional, academic, and career, with an emphasis on academic success for every student. In 1920, our team visitations and learning walks and our collaboration with Dr. Joan Daly Lewis was focused around student engagement and the integration of teacher-led learning walks. This work is a continuation of the work that began with our administrative team during the 18-19 school year. We are very excited to invite representatives from the faculty to be trained in the learning walk protocols, as this is a powerful tool to continuing to evaluate and innovate in curriculum, instruction, and assessment. The purpose is really to provide an opportunity to have conversations with each other about what is happening in classrooms, so we can make change in classrooms. We can see what the current reality is, work together to gather data, and use the information to build on the strengths that are already there. We are currently reflecting on this work and how to continue this work in light of the COVID-19 imposed restrictions. In response to COVID-19 pandemic, a new focus emerged in the support of remote learning, including the district-level vetting and procuring of resources, training on programs and applications through teacher-led PD, as well as constant consultation and collaboration with directors and building leaders. With the strategic plan goals at the forefront of all of our planning, tonight's focus will be on how we are supporting the whole child while maintaining our high-quality program in safe and engaging learning spaces in order to enhance our students' college and career readiness skills. Our specific lens will be through the professional development opportunities we have been putting into place for the 2020-21 school year that builds on the work we did last year. We are proud of the outstanding and numerous 1920 accomplishments, which were only slightly hindered by the obstacles we faced in the spring, thanks to the hard work and dedication of everyone that was willing to put in from March through August. As you know from our distance learning presentation last month, we continued meeting with teachers, providing professional development, surveying parents, teachers, and students, and working through the reopening committee and subcommittees which influenced our direction for this school year. Continuing to build on that foundational work, we have developed a plan for innovating learning in all of our SWR classrooms in the 2020-2021 school year and beyond. Another of our strategic plan goals is to maintain high quality program, and yes, even during a global pandemic. By establishing this goal, our district developed a multi-year plan for the sustainability of all technology infrastructure, staff devices, and student devices. The pandemic did help to accelerate the timeline for meeting this goal, and thanks to the support of our Board of Education, we were able to expand the one-to-one Chromebook initiative to all students K through 12. Additionally, through this support and the leadership of our Director of Technology, Peter Esposito, our district continues to update and maintain over 2,500 mobile devices deployed for technology-infused learning, as well as our infrastructure to handle the devices on our network. The availability of this technology ahead of schedule enabled us to set goals for innovating learning for our students from this school year as we continue to work and build on our work from last year. We have asked our teachers to use the tools available to them to innovate in 3 major areas of our classroom learning environments, and that is to be outcomes focused, that is standards based and aligned to the district's curriculum and programs, learner active, which is designed to engage students in active learning, and technology infused, that uses technology not to redefine learning, whether we are in school or not, infused to give it flavor, not just to deliver or present.
So I just want to take a moment to read this quote from Dr. Sula. In order for schools to meet the needs of a global society, they must prepare students to be problem finders, innovators, and entrepreneurs. Today's students are ready to make the leap from passive recipients of information to active participants in a classroom that will prepare them for the future. This quote is an excerpt from Dr. Sula's work. She has been a strong advocate for preparing our students to be successful citizens that contribute to a connected global society. Her work aligns with our strategic plan goals of supporting the whole child, enhancing graduation outcomes, and maintaining high-quality programming. As directors, we have leaned on Dr. Sula's research to validate our professional development for faculty in the use of evidence-based student engagement. We have designed a program that utilizes every moment that's available for teacher professional development to build efficacy with strategies for fostering productive student collaboration designed to engage our 21st century learners. During professional development workshops, superintendent's conference days, and collaborative planning opportunities, we continue to model best practices for active engagement of students and identify structures and tools that invite and encourage staff collaboration and sharing of effective student engagement practices. Many of our staff members have also stepped up to lead some of this work themselves. Ms. Tren from the high school worked on spring workshops and a New Teacher Institute workshop. Mrs. LaBarbara did some Google Classroom work and some Bitmoji work. Mr. Verbeck is planning for the spring, or last spring, helped us kick off the Google Classrooms, and this November we'll be doing some more with that work. Mr. Holonia has stepped up to present some Google Classroom workshops for Staff Development Day. Teacher facilitators are now in place for our Foundations in-service courses. Dr. Meyer and myself, we are working on 6 PD sessions, as well as different in-service courses and superintendent's conference day sessions. So a little bit more about Dr. Sula's work. She released a white paper this summer providing insights into the 7 attributes of a classroom learning environment instructional model that will work as well at home as it does in school. And we have continuously let the teachers know that all of the work that we're doing, whether we're at home during distance learning or in the classroom, this is good pedagogy and best practice. In designing this active learning environment, the teachers are developing structures and strategies to reflect these 7 attributes. These attributes work together to promote success in academic achievement, executive function, social emotional learning, and greater student engagement, empowerment, and efficacy. And they involve the whole community, the teachers, the students, and the parents and caregivers. As you can see by the diagram, all together, working together, the landscape of opportunities focuses us on academically rigorous learning, the culture of social and emotional learning, the foundation of student responsibility for learning, having an atmosphere of continual motivation, and as you can see by the smiles on those students' faces, they sure are motivated, the network of purposeful and productive facilitation of learning, the structure of meaningful data-driven learning. We are still committed to data-driven learning, and a climate of executive function. So as you can see, these 7 attributes fully align with our strategic plan goals to support the whole child, to maintain high-quality programming, and to create healthy, safe, and engaging learning spaces, which in turn will support our overall goal of enhancing graduation outcomes. So a little bit more about the executive function. So again, while an effective lesson and great materials may be necessary to learning, they are not sufficient to ensure learning. So we have been talking with the teachers about the concept of executive function. It's what the latest research is saying is the missing link to student achievement. We've just started this work, but we're going to share a little bit about what our plans are going forward with the teachers. So the concept of executive function is one attribute that we continue to build on as we have identified a need to enhance students' life skills, or some people say soft skills. This conversation began last year with our high school readiness committee, actually. We know that parents and teachers all agreed that helping students develop these skills is an area of student need, spanning the grade levels. Things like helping students figure out how to create a schedule for themselves, or how to manage their time, how to set goals and organize their activities. These are the everyday life skills needed for children to meet with success. It's not just about the content they learn, but the executive function skills that they develop as well. During the remote learning period, we learned that students could use help developing these skills. I know I learned my children could use help developing these skills, and that fact actually came out through our parent and teacher surveys from last spring. So we were happy to stumble upon this work, and this work supports teachers in helping students to build executive function skills through protocols and reflective exercises that can be incorporated into learning. For example, teachers could present problem-based tasks at the start of a unit to motivate and challenge students, or provide analytic rubrics to present clear expectations, to drive instruction, and allow students to self-assess. Teachers design learning and practice activities and develop activity lists to provide students with varied opportunities to learn, sometimes even choice. So teachers have students schedule time to allow them to map out a plan for success. This is what Dr. Sula calls going from teacher as ferry to teacher as bridge, a much more student-centered way of approaching the curriculum. So now we have a little video to show about executive function to help us illustrate the true power of infusing this climate into our learning environments, our school community, and into the homes of our families. The teachers have seen this video as well, and we will be focusing on ways to build this into their instruction throughout our professional development series. And I believe we also showed this to the parents at the Parent Academy. So the teachers and parents have seen this.
air traffic control. It intercepts a tangle of inbound thoughts and impulses, steers them towards productive outcomes. Executive function helps students stay focused, plan ahead and set goals, regulate emotions, monitor their own learning, and think flexibly and creatively. But children aren't born with executive function skills. They develop over time. In fact, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain which houses executive functions, is still maturing well into our teens and 20s. So teaching executive function skills should start early, be reinforced regularly, and continue up through high school, at least. How do you do that? Don't just teach content. Look for ways to take a step back and give students the skills and the discipline to learn on their own. And remember that failure is part of the process. Academic preparation needs to be taught. Show students how to use calendars and to-do lists, for example, to manage their time and plan ahead. Encourage students to ask questions like, do I have a plan for succeeding at this? What was confusing or difficult about that task? How can I do better next time? The research shows that metacognitive strategies lead to better preparation, planning, and performance. And high stress levels can impair executive function. So consider activities like mindfulness or meditation to help students deal with stress. And don't skimp on recess. Spend the time. The research backs you up. Executive function is a more accurate predictor of success than test scores, IQ, or socioeconomic status.
So by focusing on these productive outcomes of staying focused, planning ahead, regulating emotions, motivating one's own learning, and thinking flexibly and creatively, we are working with teachers to continue to encourage independent learning, use of planning and goal-setting tools, asking metacognitive questions, and the reduction of stress levels for our students. We are doing mindfulness exercises, and it's fun to see. Focusing attention on these attributes of the learning environment are aligned with enhancing our graduation outcomes, college, career, and life readiness. So last year in curriculum instruction and assessment, we were proud to have begun a tradition of developing a common theme to collaborate around. For this year, we developed this district badge to convey our goals of being outcomes-focused, learner-active, and technology-infused. Our plan for professional development for the teachers this year is to provide opportunities for reflection on our practices and for collaboration around continuous improvement. We are designing all of our professional development to model instructional strategies and incorporate resources that can be used in the teacher's in-person and virtual classrooms. This work is ongoing. We are now going to share some examples of Shoreham-Wading River classroom learning experiences inspired by our district PD and collegial work that are collaborative, personalized, connected, standards-based, empowered, and technological, which are all of those little words around the badge there.
So our first classroom example is from Miss Will's third grade class. They created a Padlet, which is a creative technology. They created our class book ratings. So our third graders, this looks very professional.
Third grade work.
All picked their book recommendations and wrote why they would recommend for their peers, and then their peers are accessing this Padlet in order to inform their next book selection for independent reading. Our next example comes from Ms. Coster's first grade class. Ms. Coster used Google Slides to innovate learning for her first graders. Students were practicing their addition doubles fluency, playing a game called Pumpkin Doubles Cover Up. And in a normal environment, students would sit next to each other with a die to roll, and they would use chips to cover up the little circles on the pumpkin. But we still wanted to bring those engaging game activities. And so in this example, our first graders opened up their Chromebooks, got onto the shared document, and were playing virtually. So As you can see in this picture, these two young ladies are 6 feet apart, but they're playing a game together. They each have their own die at their tables. They're writing the equations on those fantastic whiteboard tables that we've purchased for all of our younger elementary students. And I have to say, I observed this lesson. They were just having a great time. Since remote learning started this past spring, Bitmojis have taken the educational community by storm. Our teachers have invested a lot of care and attention into creating these virtual learning environments that support their classroom community and innovate learning. These customizable mini-me avatars support our teachers running virtual classrooms, enforcing rules and expectations, and collecting assignments, and just making students smile and feel connected. Here's one example of innovating learning using something as simple as a Bitmoji classroom to do something far more redefining for students. This is an example from Mr. Korchma's class, and he created a calm corner Bitmoji classroom. So all of these objects, if you were to click on them, are links to things that our students have been exposed through our empowering education curriculum. There is a virtual fidget spinner, an online aquarium, some calming things. But if you were to click on his library, it opens up another bunch of rooms. And in those rooms, organized by social emotional learning topic, students are able to select reading materials. And all of these children's books are aligned with our curriculum, and they can click on those resources and get that read aloud. What we're hearing from parents and students is that students are going home at night and they're no longer asking to watch TV, but they're asking to go back onto the Bitmoji classrooms, and they're engaging in this educational content.
And you can see the choice is built in, the social emotional piece is built in. This is the approach we're taking.
So as you can see, our teachers continue to go above and beyond to create a warm and welcoming environments, even virtually. And this supports the social emotional needs of our students and our goals to support the whole child. I know Mr. Poole mentioned it before, but Mr. Caskey and Ms. Tren use Google Meet to innovate learning for our AP capstone students when they invited SWR alumni Mahadi Rashijada to present about his research experience at SWR High School and how it has helped in his pathway for pre-med at college. And one last example, Ms. Tren is innovating learning in her English language arts classes. Here are 2 examples of creating an icebreaker team building activity, again from a distance using Google Jamboards, and an ed puzzle where students can engage with video content and be supported along the way. The video sort of stops and asks them questions and prompts them to think about ideas before the students move on to the next piece of the video. So the question is, how is the administrative team going to continue to support this research and vision across the district? As our strategic plan continues to guide us to build from strength, we have developed a comprehensive plan for both parent and teacher supports that we're going to review this evening.
So during our strategic planning, we made it a goal to enhance graduation outcomes and communications with stakeholders. To support this, we created a comprehensive guidance plan, and recommendations were made to strengthen services available to parents to increase communication and student preparedness for success with postgraduate work. With that in mind, the directors decided to propose and implement a series of workshops for parents entitled Parent Academy. So we had over 50 parents register for our first session, and the first session was entitled Technology Infused Learning from the Student Perspective. The objectives of that workshop were to share the plan for innovating learning for the year, provide parents with a glimpse into the student user experience for technology-infused learning, and we also asked the parents for requests for upcoming parent workshops. For all teacher PD and parent workshops that we run, we do ask for feedback from the participants, which helps inform our planning for the next workshop. We are excited to say that we already have over 40 families signed up for the December parent workshop, which the topic is supporting your child, a holistic look at the students' needs, at our students' needs in 2020 and beyond. So during our October parent workshop, we reviewed with parents the concept of Generation Z learners, which are those children in our schools today. To do so, we demonstrated for them what a multimedia tech set is. This is a technology-infused strategy that teachers can use to create an interactive set of different resources surrounding a common topic, or a theme, or an issue. They are often used for student engagement or for a hook for the lesson. Teachers will often employ these tools in order to facilitate students' building of background knowledge at the beginning of a unit or lesson. So we wanted to invite you to explore this resource, but we're a little short on time. But when you get a chance, if you go back into the presentation, what you'll see is very enlightening. If you've ever said to your son or daughter, "What were you thinking?" or "Put your phone away," which I say about every 5 minutes. Or one day I said, "Why are you asking Alexa to say what 17 times 32 is?" And then he said, "Well, it's just like using a calculator." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right." I think one of the parents put it best during our Parent Academy chat. One of the parents actually said that our classrooms don't have to be incubators of memorization, or what he pointed out that struck him was that classrooms don't have to be incubators of memorization and multiple choice tests. We can create learning environments that allow kids to explore and fall in love with problem solving. So we couldn't agree more. And as we continue to collaborate with our teachers to innovate learning across the district for our Generation Z learners.
So our district's partnership with BOCES is a helpful resource of PD and other available tools. We are fortunate that Ms. Lynn from BOCES has shared this Google Guidebook for Families and Students resource with our district. This interactive resource provides families and students with everything they want and need to know about the Google applications available through our G Suite for Education. We showed the parents what each tab had to offer and encouraged them to use it as a reference tool, including the short informational videos on each page. We shared this with families during our Parent Academy as an asynchronous support for the Google Suite platform. And so just one quick example. This is posted on our district website, and when parents or students click on the binder tabs virtually, it provides them with a brief description of each application as well as helpful how-to videos, Google Classroom for Parents, and additional links for even more resources if you wanted to expand from there. So earlier we showed you a video clip on what executive function is. We also shared these resources with parents at our Parent Academy. These are resources that are provided by Harvard University's Center for Developing Children, and they outline developmentally appropriate ways to help children build their executive function and regulation skills as they learn and grow at home. So these, again, are available on our district website, and they're quick little guides from everything on how to help your child develop study skills to how to help them decompress, de-stress, and things like that.
I actually printed out one of them for my husband the other night.
So as we continue to enhance our outreach to families through the Parent Academy and regular district communications, we're also focused on feedback and support for our faculty and staff in each building. In order to provide our teachers with ongoing support, we have our new Teacher Institute sessions, ongoing professional development sessions throughout the year that we as directors are facilitating, as well as those facilitated by consultants or our own teachers. In addition, from the director's office, we are distributing a monthly newsletter and also holding monthly office hours. To support the teachers even further, directors created and are maintaining an SWR Google Classroom where we are posting many useful resources and our curricular items, professional resources and supports, and the embedded opportunity to participate in book clubs and collegial circles that extend our professional learning and growth. Again, this aligns to our strategic plan goals of supporting the whole child, delivering professional development for staff and the use of evidence-based student engagement strategies, enhancing graduation outcomes, providing safe, engaging learning spaces, and communications with all stakeholders. Enhancing communication is a strategic plan goal that we continue to reflect upon in our committee work as a district. District committees are comprised of administrators, teachers, parents, Board of Ed members, and sometimes even students. The work we do and conversations had during committee meetings help shape all of the decision-making in the district, including the choices we make to institute, continue, or discontinue professional development. This process is outlined in this infographic here. We use survey catalogs of professional development offerings in district and out of district to make professional development requests, to input in-district professional development courses, and to evaluate all professional development that admins and teachers complete through My Learning Plan. Whenever an administrator or a teacher participates in a workshop, they complete an evaluation form, which is another way to constantly be receiving feedback on the professional development workshops or conferences that we take. Here you can see a list of district-approved PD and examples of some providers. All providers are vetted and district-approved. In terms of PD that takes place during the school day, teachers would need to request subs. These are limited opportunities to provide in-district professional development outside of the school day, and that would occur just 17 times per school year, 10 60-minute sessions and 7 90-minute sessions at faculty or department meetings. At the middle and elementary level, it's a bit less. 4 of those are dedicated to parent-teacher conferences. During a typical school year, grade level meetings are a brief 30 minutes in the morning for elementary or possibly 40 minutes during a prep period at the secondary level. And these are short points in time that would be used for professional development meeting. But due to some of our safety protocols this year, we have less opportunity for these shorter meetings. Also in previous years, we're good? Okay. Also in previous years, our literacy and math coaches have provided PD during morning sessions, pushing into the classrooms to model and co-teach, and supporting our STEM and humanities initiatives through planning days. While the professional development process continues, it does look a little bit different than in years past. Here's a picture of one of our recent committee meetings where these committees inform all of the decisions related to professional development. And as you can see here, we were Zooming for this meeting.
So the New Teacher Institute, we have the largest class of new teachers this year, over 20 teachers, new teachers, in quite a while. They do come together monthly for a range of topics and ongoing support. Mr. Meinster steers the New Teacher Institute group on a monthly basis. However, the directors, including Mr. Altoff and Kathy Lang, our data safety coordinator, they have also participated in the first 2 New Teacher Institute sessions. We welcomed in our session the new teachers with some team building exercises and introduced them to our curricular resources and planning documents. Mrs. Lang provided the teachers with training on our new clever single sign-on platform, and Mr. Altoff reviewed our district student services. In our last meeting with the new teachers, we reviewed instructional strategies, set professional growth goals, and continued to explore our curricular resources. We plan to stop back into the New Teacher Institute midway through the year and again toward the end of the year to help support and guide the new teachers. So normally we hold 3 superintendent conference days a year, one in September, one in November, and one in March. This year, knowing that we needed more time than ever to prepare the buildings, classrooms, and teachers for a safe and smooth reopening, and to prepare for the possible shift to distance learning, the March Staff Development or Superintendent's Conference Day was moved to September, and we replaced one instructional day with an additional Superintendent's Conference Day for planning, preparing, and for professional development. Here's an overview or an outline of what was covered during the September Superintendent's Conference Days and what we expect to cover next month on November 3rd. I know it might be a little hard to see, so I'll read off that we did state-mandated annual safety training, state-mandated annual security training. We had teacher classroom preparation and a curriculum corner workshop that Dr. Meyer and I presented during those first few days. The plan for November is to offer G Suite workshops. Again, I mentioned earlier, many of our teachers and administrators have stepped up to provide these workshops. We're going to have workshops on Kami and Screencastify, Jamboard, Quizlet, Edpuzzle, Flipgrid and Padlet, Wakelet, and Canva, Discovery Ed, Castle Learning, Curating Authentic Resources, which is for the world language teachers, and Mr. Infante is going to continue his work on with the art teachers and the art program Scope and Sequence. So as you can see, we have a lot planned, a lot we've done already, and a lot planned for the future. So the state-mandated safety and security training, obviously a great emphasis has been placed on safety and security, supporting our strategic plan goal to maintain healthy, safe, and engaging learning spaces. Our summer planning and September Superintendent's Conference Day was just the beginning, and we will continue to ensure that all facilities promote healthy, safe, and engaging learning spaces amid all of the concerns related to the pandemic. In addition to our mandated trainings, we reviewed how COVID-19 impacts our security plans, collaborated as buildings to develop safe teaching practices during a pandemic, and provided time for our educators to modify and adjust their spaces to fit the needs of their students ahead of the opening of schools. A very busy few days.
On the last of the September Superintendent's Conference Days, Ms. Wallbauer and I presented a 90-minute kickoff to this year's SWR Curriculum Corner Professional Development Series. We shared the goals for the students for the 2020-21 school year. The pandemic and our ever-changing global society presents both challenges and opportunities to innovate learning, but with our strategic plan goals of supporting the whole child, maintaining high-quality programming, we were committed to developing outcomes-focused, learner-active, and technology-infused classroom learning environments that are healthy, safe, and engaging. Here's a sampling of the many Google applications and extensions we shared with the teachers in the first interactive workshop, where we were the teachers and our teachers were the students, so they could envision what that student experience would be like with any of these applications. So Ms. Wallbauer and I showed the teachers how to use Flipgrid by having them try it out as students. And here's a piece of the Flipgrid that the teachers created on September 3rd, the last day before school opens, when we asked them, what are you most excited about for the 2020-2021 school year?
We are so excited to meet our new kindergartners. We are most excited about working together
and seeing the kids every day, watching them learn and grow.
So we're really looking forward to working together and making the best of this historic situation. Hi, so we're most excited about sharing a room and getting all our students. We're excited to be together again.
And that was the first time they ever used Flipgrid. Not bad.
So again, our teachers learning as students. So in-service courses help teachers stay up to date on current trends in education. Collegial circles are something we encourage for admins and teachers alike, and they can be started or suggested by anyone at any time as another means of professional growth and collegiality. And these are presented to our staff development committee for discussion and approval. We provide in-service courses led by administrators, teachers, or district-approved consultants, and teachers are also allowed to choose from a menu outside of our district. Here's a sampling of what's being offered by our teachers this fall and winter. The Google Slides 2.0 and Bitmoji Classroom, presented by Ms. LaBarbara, Discovery Educators Network Ambassador Program by myself, digital breakout games using Breakout EDU by myself, Chicken Soup for the Teacher's Soul. No, I don't want to update. Presented by myself and Ms. Wallbauer, as well as foundations trainings for K1 and 2 teachers, presented by Carol Mason and district-approved teachers in a transitional leadership plan. Because we're using safety protocols and social distancing as much as possible throughout the district, our PD sessions have been led virtually using Google Meet or Zoom. Here's a screenshot of our October 8th session for the DEN Ambassador Workshop. As you can see, participants were involved in a group chat sharing thoughts about what we were learning.
You skipped over the breakout EDU.
Yeah, the picture was missing. It's okay.
Okay, so.
Sorry.
No problem.
You thought you had time, I know.
Upcoming opportunities for collegial circles. So our focus has gone from surviving to thriving. We were trying to survive earlier. Now I think we're really thriving with all of these new protocols, new technologies, and new pedagogy best practices. And we're excited about how we are continuing to innovate learning. Dr. Sula's books, Students Taking Charge, and her recent white paper, Designing Hybrid Learning Environments, applies her work to the current educational environment. And our district has purchased these books, and we plan to host voluntary collegial circles for the teachers and maybe administrators to take a deeper dive into her research and to see how we can use these ideas to innovate learning for our SWR classrooms. So Linda Darling-Hammond has said that teaching quality has been defined as instruction that enables a wide range of students to learn, and it is the strongest school-related factor that can improve student learning and achievement. So knowing this, what is the best way to foster and provide ongoing support for good teaching practices? What is it? Professional development. According to Lethwood, Lewis, Anderson, and Wallstrom, leadership is the second only to teaching among school-related factors that can improve student achievement. Superintendents, principals, and others in positions of authority in school systems are instrumental in providing the vision, time, and resources to support continual professional learning, a positive school climate, and success for all students. That said, we thank you, we thank the administrative team and the Board of Education, all of the committees we collaborate with for their leadership as we provide this PD throughout the district and throughout the year. So here's a snapshot of the professional development opportunities that are happening this year. It is a fact that when teachers receive well-designed professional development, an average of 49 hours spread out over 6 months to 12 months, they can increase student achievement by as much as 21 percentile points. So again, all of this comes together to help our strategic planning goals of enhancing graduation outcomes. As you can see in this presentation and have heard, Dr. Meyer and I are providing a series of workshops that model best instructional practices across the content areas, but we are also continuing to provide content-specific PD as well, using consultants for supporting our work in foundations, for example, and also Eureka and InSync, through Scholastic Literacy Pro, Teachers College, again, workshops on Clever, the DEI, Distinctive Educators Institute work we're doing at the middle school, the SSEP that's continuing, our fine arts consulting work that's continuing, empowering education, supporting Words Their Way, the SEL across the district, it just goes on and on. In addition, on this slide, you will see a snapshot of our first 2 monthly newsletters that we put out. Dr. Meyer and I, from our Curriculum Corner, are posting monthly a newsletter for the teachers. It's a 2-page newsletter that includes a monthly SOS strategy. It's also including curriculum highlights so that we're showing the teachers what's happening in the classrooms, the up-to-date PD offerings. We're trying to put in an inspirational quote, as well as links to professional articles and additional resources which will go out to the teachers monthly.
One of the conversations that we continually have with all stakeholders is the balance needed when incorporating technology into the student and learning environment. Ensuring the just right amount of screen time, evaluating the effectiveness of technologies, and using technology to innovate learning are all a part of the conversation about balance. Thanks to the Board of Ed, we were fortunate to have the 1-to-1 student to student device ratio. As the curricular directors in the district, we encourage teachers to reflect on the uses of technology to provide a level of comfort in case we were ever to need to move to our distance learning plan, as well as to use the technology to redefine learning. While the pandemic has created the need to substitute or replace some traditional classroom functions with a more technology-based approach, we prefer to encourage the use of technology for that redefinition. That is that we are not just using technology for the sake of using technology. We are innovating learning by providing technology-infused experiences that wouldn't be possible without the use of the technology. The Google SAMR model infographic before you demonstrates other methods to increase student collaboration and engagement through the use of technology-rich experiences. The use of technology to engage our Gen Z learners that we discussed before in creative problem-solving experiences through multiple modalities of learning. Discovery education was one of the foci of the 1920 school year, and as we continue to utilize this rich resource of interdisciplinary materials, as well as the professional development series, the DEN Ambassador series, the Spotlight on Strategies, we share with teachers monthly. So to keep adding to their toolbox to engage students to collaborate and innovate. Some interesting statistics are, since the beginning of the school year, over 1,300 videos have been accessed. Student use is growing exponentially on this platform each month, and teacher access and usage is at an all-time high. Since we have had this resources for many years past, we have seen a great increase in the use of these instructional resources. Here's one SOS strategy that we shared at the last PD series and in the October newsletter from the Director's Curriculum Corner. Excuse me. Tabletop texting can be done on paper, but we showed the teachers how to infuse technology into that strategy by suggesting the use of a Padlet or a Google form for students to text and collaborate back and forth.
So we actually used that today with the teachers in our workshop earlier, and it was very successful. We had a great conversation about a video that we had watched. So here's a screenshot of today's October 20th Curriculum Corner PD session number 1, led by Dr. Meyer and me. And yes, we were providing PD to our teachers just a few short hours ago. There's a picture of it. So Dr. Meyer and I do miss seeing the teachers. Good? Okay. And visiting all of the buildings on a regular basis. However, we know that limiting our contact time at this time obviously takes precedence. So in an effort to provide easy access to us through virtual meetings, we have set up virtual office hours for anyone who wants to pop in during their scheduled time that we provided. Teachers can meet with us individually, as a department, as a grade level, whatever they need or whatever they wish. They also know that they can schedule a meeting anytime by emailing our office assistant, Mrs. Gregory, but we thought that holding office hours might be an easy and consistent way for the teachers to know when they can virtually stop by to say hi, or to share some news, to ask a question, to get some help, to have us demo, which has happened quite a lot, have us demo or re-explain something that we've learned or that we've taught them in one of our Curriculum Corner workshops. We are trying to stay connected as much as possible. Another way that we are trying to support the teachers from a distance is, again, through our SWR Curriculum Corner Google Classroom. We developed this and we continue to add to it. It provides teachers with one-stop shopping and ongoing support for all of their curriculum and instruction needs, easy access to resources, and to all of the professional development opportunities. We thought that this would be a good time to show you some of the features of the classroom while walking you through the features of a Google Classroom in general. So we've posted in the stream quite a lot of, well, they get notifications of what's been posted in the stream. But if you go to the, I can't see what it's classwork.
Classwork, sorry.
We have set up categories. So we're posting our monthly newsletters there. The teachers are submitting documents through Google Classroom. We are, again, posting this spotlight on strategies of the month for the teachers to go back to. Tons of professional development and resources have been posted there. We're going to be building our book clubs and collegial circles. And then again, access to all of the district-wide resources that we have. And we broke it down by different levels and subjects. So we've got ENL resources, elementary humanities resources, STEM resources, secondary resources for all, secondary humanities and secondary STEM resources that are continuously there. We've invited all of the teachers and all of the administrators to this Google Classroom so that everybody has access at any time.
So a special thanks to the teachers who've maintained their collaborative spirit through the pandemic last spring during all of the planning for reopening and for helping to make a smooth transition and a safe, comfortable, and academic space for the students. Thank you also to our Board of Education for their dedication and support of our entire school community, especially during these unprecedented and uncertain times. Are there any questions?
First, I'd like to thank you for a very thorough presentation. It's been 4.5, 5 years since I've been on the board. I think this is probably the most thorough presentation on PD, so I thank you guys for putting all the effort into it. One question I had, as far as the virtual PD with the teachers, is there a requirement for everyone to have their screens on? It is? Okay.
Yes, we've actually gone over the protocols with the teachers, not only for the teachers' professional development, but again, we modeled it so that the teachers will then go to their classrooms and model those protocols that they expect of the children. So each workshop begins with us going over those protocols that we would expect teachers to follow, and at the same time, we give them a gentle little reminder as to how important it is to set those expectations and protocols for the students.
Cameras on, mics off to begin.
Yeah, it sounds very easy, right? We attended one of the parent workshops, and
we had a,
yes.
we had a little bump.
we had some challenges with that
Yes,
easy ask.
we did.
But, no.
What's been a challenge for us is working, in different offices and at remotely ourselves. That evening, we were working with a Chromebook, 2 laptops, a smart board, and we were in a room that was not fully set up for admin, and so it was a little bit of a juggling act, which is why it took us a moment to get to that shutting off that cell phone. But it's been a little bit of a challenge for us too, but obviously, we're adjusting, and the teachers have been very patient, very gracious, and I think the parents were that night as well, once we got that figured out.
It's sort of nice. It's a humbling experience, as good as we try to get at the technologies, it's a constant reminder that with technology, things are going to go wrong, and, you just kind of have to roll with it. But, we kind of share with teachers, we feel you, we know what you're dealing with, because at the Parent Academy the other night, listen to what happened, sort of thing, so.
And today, when we first started our presentation to teachers, again, working off of 3 screens, we forgot to share one of the screens. So we started explaining all about how to do this and that, and they were, again, in the chat, we can't see your screen. So we quickly fixed that. And it's good for them to see that we've been saying that since the beginning. We're all learning together, particularly, back in the spring, in March and April and May and June, when we were continuously working with them from home and having those crazy little things happen. Amy found out that my children couldn't stand to have turkey any longer for lunch. Those are the real things that happen with technology, and we're all learning that together, so it's been good.
Great, thank you. I'll open up to any questions.
Sure, if I might. So first, I do want to compliment the both of you. I think this was tremendous. I think approaching tonight, I was a little skeptical about the number of slides, number one. And number 2,
sorry.
The use of bit emojis. I think a few weeks ago I was asking during one of the board meetings about the investment and what this meant. Now I think I better understand it more clearly and what it actually does in terms of a learning platform. And I think that's kind of a positive aspect of where we are right now. COVID kind of caused us to go technology, and this platform actually creates something very useful for not only, curriculum development, professional development, and hopefully the teachers see the support and obviously your guidance that you're providing. So compliment to both of you for that. I did have a few quick questions if you don't mind. Sure. The parent academies that you're running, is there a specific segment of the kids or the students or the parents that you're designing it for, or is it just anyone can attend? Just for people who are maybe listening or watching who didn't attend before, that maybe after my inspiration, I'm just kidding, would want to attend and learn a little bit more.
So we designed the first 2 in the series to be very open for parents, the student experience of our technology-rich learning environment in the first one, and in the second one, we really wanted to show a holistic approach to supporting your children in this new era of learning. But as we shared in the presentation, we are taking feedback after every one of those professional development sessions, and so the next set of them will be greatly informed by the feedback from those. So if it is grade level specific use with Google Classroom, then we are ready and willing to provide kind of what the data supports.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. A few other quick ones. On Discovery Education, you mentioned that there's about 1,300 uses so far in the district. One of the items on tonight's agenda is to talk about field trips, virtual field trips. Do you see that being a platform, or how are you encouraging the use of that when we think about the inability to really travel right now or go outside of the area?
So we have a number of our typical field trip providers that are able to provide virtual options, which is really nice. But we did sort of delve into that a little bit deeper before the pandemic hit last spring. Our technology department visited a manufacturing plant. Our phys ed teachers had a backstage pass to the Super Bowl. And so they're engaging experiences. It is something that is newer for teachers. To be clear about Discovery Education, it's not necessarily a set of lesson plans, but rather a bunch of instructional resources for teachers to access and sort of apply to their lessons, to their curriculum, to their structures. There are many lesson supports with virtual field trips. And the feedback from teachers is that they are worthwhile experiences and that the lesson supports are of very high quality. So we hope to expand that in the future.
That's great. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Just a few other quick items. Fine arts consultant. I know we had someone involved last year. Was there anything that you learned from that or that you're incorporating this year? I know it's, again, different this year than how arts are being conducted, but just thoughts on that component.
So I think much of the work was begun last year, but it remains unfinished. And so they are continuing with the alignment of the standards with Mr. Infante. And I know that they also had lots of conversations with his consultation in the beginning of the school year on how they could adapt their learning experiences for the students in our district. So it's been very advantageous to have his expertise on our team.
Terrific. I do also, again, not to overstate the compliments tonight, but I did enjoy seeing the Curriculum Corner workshop and what that does, and how you've now put the content there with by subject or area, so teachers have usefulness of it. I do appreciate the ability to open yourselves up with your time, you know, I forgot what you called it specifically, but
The office hours.
Yeah, the office hours, thank you. So, well done. Thank you for the update. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Do you feel that the professional development that you're offering, that there's opportunities to develop sometimes some instructional practices that we take for granted because we know that they're effective? So something like you know, establishing a goal or modeling or providing student feedback or the use of questioning. Do you think that there's an opportunity for that? Because I think sometimes they're so obvious that they're effective that they're viewed as being simplistic, but they really can require a lot of development and support for teachers.
We're revisiting that through the lens of innovating learning. So like you mentioned, you know, questioning. So starting a lesson with a problem to solve is a great way to kick off a lesson. That kind of inquiry-based model is something that kind of we're going back to and reviewing with the teachers. So again, I think earlier, well, actually no, I'm confusing presentations now. When we met with the teachers earlier tonight, you know, we expressed to them that a lot of this is not new. We're innovating learning, right? We're enhancing it. We're adjusting to the Gen Z learner needs. So we are revisiting a lot of those instructional strategies, but just in different ways and through different lenses. Because everything, you know, old is kind of new again in education. So definitely.
So some of the more simplistic things that we're doing is at the beginning of every session, we're modeling what the workshop protocols are. So again, that notion of cameras on, mics off, you know, we expect active engagement. This is something that we're modeling for the teachers, for the students. Every one of our workshops starts with listing the objectives for the session and you know, wrapping that up in the closure at the end of the session to say, did we meet our goals, and let's reflect on those practices. So we're hoping that through that modeling and through those continued collaborative conversations, we're taking those 7 attributes that Dr. Sula cites in her research, and again, whatever level that individual teacher is at, they're kind of just trying to enhance it and bring it up to the next level.
Yeah, I find that the TC does that nicely in terms of maintaining and helping teachers to develop that. But, you know, TC is not a K-12 program, right? So, right. Yeah.
So our TC staff developer actually was the one who introduced Padlet to our literacy coach at the time last spring, who then introduced it to the teachers. And now many of the teachers on all levels, K to 12, are using the Padlet as a resource and as a way to get the students to collaborate virtually and in a socially safe, socially distanced way. So, you know, we're learning a lot as we share and collaborate in all these sessions.
And the parent training was exceptional. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was really great. I think it brought to life really what we're trying to do here. It's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to thank you for modeling so beautifully, like what you are offering as PD and what you are providing for our staff. I mean, it's awesome to see how you're walking the walk and really there for them. And I particularly appreciate the research that you did with Dr. Sula, because I feel like it's so appropriate for now, this time frame, but it also can span into the future, and it's all encompassing. I mean, to nourish executive functioning, and so it's a great it's a great mindset, I feel like, that we have going into this year that will truly carry over for years to come. And I wanted to share that I had in a project for my second grader, there was truly that modeled approach of planning and creating your own rubric for assessment, and it was a pumpkin project. And so I had seen similar rubrics for like older grades in middle school and even like 5th grade, but to see a second grader being taught how to plan ahead, to prepare the materials that would be necessary to complete the project, to develop a calendar, and then to not only complete the task, but then to reflect back on the work that was done. It was really impressive. It was cool. Excuse me. The other thing was I wanted to know if it's possible for to open up that collegial circle to the Board of Ed in some way. Is there a way that we can either participate or just have access to that? I would love to gain insight into what's that work that's being done.
Absolutely. We're still in the development phases. We plan to launch this winter, but we would be happy to share the resources with you at the very least, and maybe if the timing works out, invite you to participate.
All right, cool. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. I think that's it. Thank you very much for presenting tonight.
Thank you.
If I just have to add, I don't know if everybody knows this, but on top of all of that, for health and safety reasons, the 2 directors were relocated to the elementary buildings this year. They have helped with arrivals, they have helped with dismissals, student management, staff, protocols, moving through the building. So they've really taken on building leadership roles this year on top of all of that work. And I just have to thank them for that, as well. And thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, on to the fun stuff. All right. Votes and resolutions.
Mike, can I just ask a quick question? Do you know if
sorry.
the students are in the building that did these for us? For Ms. Smith? Are they in this building?
I believe so. I think this was part of the image from the Miller Avenue School.
That's very nice.
Yeah, these are adorable.
Oh.
Yes.
Thank you. I just want to send a shout out. Thank you. Thank you on behalf of them.
Okay, first up, approval of August 2020 Treasurer's Report. Can I get a motion? Tom, second Rob. Any discussion or questions?
No.
Okay to vote? All in favor? 7-0. Approval of CPSE, CSE, and 504 meeting summary memo dated October 7th, 2020. Can I get a motion? Megan, second Henry. Any discussion or questions?
No.
Okay to vote? All in favor? 7-0 approved. Approval of July 28th, 2020 public session minutes. A motion? Tom, second Rob. Any discussion or questions?
No.
Okay to vote? All in favor? 7-0 approved. Approval of September 1st, 2020 public session minutes. Can I get a motion? Jim, second Katie. Any discussion or questions? Okay to vote? All in favor? 7-0 approved. Approval of September 8th, 2020 public session minutes. Can I get a motion? Tom, second Henry. Any discussion or questions?
No.
Okay to vote? All in favor? 7-0 approved. Next up is resolutions. First up is the Board of Education resolution, number 2021-081. Can I get a motion? Megan, second Katie. Any discussion or questions? Okay to vote, all in favor? 7-0 approved. Curriculum and instruction resolutions, there are 3. Okay, take them as a block.
Yes.
Numbers 2021-082 through 2021-084. Can I get a motion? Henry, second Tom. Any discussion or questions?
No.
Okay to vote, all in favor? 7-0 approved. Business and operations resolutions, there are two. Okay, take them as a block.
Yes.
Numbers 2021-085 and 2021-086. Can I get a motion? Tom, second. Jim. Any discussion or questions?
No.
Okay to vote? All in favor? 7-0 approved. Personnel. Can I get a motion? Tom, second. Jim. Any discussion or questions? Okay to vote? All in favor? 7-0 approved. Any further communication? No? Any additional comments from residents? No? Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting and head into a second exec to discuss the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation? Can I get a motion? Jim, second. Tom, all in favor? 7-0 approved.